Elijah, a prophet of the Lord, prayed a prayer one day that there be no rain. Not even a drop of dew would fall to the ground for the next few years except by his word. Well, there was no rain. The rivers dried up and the people became very thirsty. At around the third year of the drought, the Lord told Elijah to go present himself to King Ahab. Now, King Ahab was an evil king in the sight of the Lord, and his wife's name was Jezebel. And she took great delight in killing all the prophets of the Lord. You see, Baal was their god, and they worshipped him above the Lord God Almighty. Wrong. Ahab went out to meet Elijah, but when he caught sight of him, he said, "Is that you troublemaker of Israel?" Elijah said, "I haven't made trouble on Israel, but you and your father's families have. You've abandoned the Lord's commands and followed Baal. Now summon all the people of Israel to meet me at Mount Carmel and do it straight away." Well, all the people and the prophets came to hear the word from Elijah's mouth. Elijah stepped forward and said, "How long will you waver? If the Lord is your God, then follow him. But if Baal is your God, then follow him. I am the only prophet of the Lord left, but Baal has 850. I put Baal to the test. Get 2 bulls for us. Let them choose their own. Cut your bull into pieces and place them upon the wood, but do not set them alight. You call on the name of Baal, and I will call on the name of the Lord. And the God that answers with fire, he shall be called the God of Israel." Wow. It was like all hell broke loose. Prophets running everywhere. "Oh, Baal! Boo! Send down your fire. Send it down, Baal. Send it down. Send it down." But there was no fire, not even a spark. At around noon, Elijah began to taunt them. "Shout louder. Surely he's a God that can hear. Or maybe he's busy or deep in thought or having a Baal movement. Or maybe he's just asleep. Why don't you just wake him?" So they shouted louder and slashed themselves with swords and spears until the blood flowed. For that was the custom of the day. But still, no sign of Baal, the god that burns babies. At around the time of evening sacrifice, Elijah stepped forward and said, "Come here to me, and I'll repair the altar of the Lord that has been ruined." He took 12 stones, each stone representing the tribes of Israel, and he built an altar there to the name of the Lord. Then he placed the bull and the wood upon that, and then he dug a trench around it large enough to hold 2 sheaves of seed. Then he asked for something very strange. He said, "Now go fetch 4 large jars of water," which is a pretty tall order considering it hadn't rained for 3 years. But they went off and they got them and they brought them back. And then he said something even stranger. He said, "Now pour it all over the sacrifice." Wow. There was a gasp in the crowd. I mean, these people hadn't seen that much water in how long, and he wanted to do what with it? He said, "Do it." So they did. And he said, "Do it again." And they did. Then he said, "Do it a 3rd time." And they did. The water ran down all over the sacrifice, filling the trench to overflowing. And then Elijah began to pray. "O God of Abraham, Isaac, and Israel, let it be known today that you are God, and that I am your servant, and I have done all these things according to your command. Answer me with fire, so that these people will know that you are God, and there is no other. There is no other. There is no other." Silence was over the crowd. Fear gripped their hearts. And then it happened. Fire poured down and burned up all the wood, the stones, lift up all the water that was in the trench. And then all the people that were there fell face down and began to cry out, "The Lord, he is God! The Lord, he is God! The Lord, he is God!" And then Elijah said, kill all the prophets of Baal, for they have deceived the people of God for far too long, and now they must pay. For I serve an all-consuming fire, an all-consuming God, and he will share you with no one. Worship him and live. Worship the other and die. It's your choice. God, this morning, we worship you. We choose you and lift you high above all. We glorify your holy name. There is none like you. You are the creator of the universe. You created us, and we are created to worship you. And we glorify you today in your mighty, holy name. Pour it out, Lord. Pour your spirit out, Lord. Pour your spirit out here this morning. Pour out your mercy, Lord, on your people. Pour out your mercy, Lord, on your people. Pour out your mercy, Lord, on your people. Let it rain. Lord, let it rain. Fire, Lord, on your people. Pour out your fire, Lord, on your people. Pour out your fire, Lord, on your people. Let it rain. Lord, let it rain. Turn the hearts of fathers to the children, and every nation to the God of love and holiness. Let the power of your spirit your people. Pour out your spirit, Lord, on your people. Pour out your spirit, Lord.